Hello everybody, this is Tom back with another App Starter Stack tutorial. And in this tutorial, we will be learning how to create interfaces, how to resize and reposition controls automatically, and how to use the App Starter Stack's conventions for that. So this will be a pretty quick tutorial because it's pretty easy. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the blank page template, and this is just what I'm going to use to create this demo. So just as a reminder, the architecture is as follows. There's a background group that has the graphic and the image, background image. There's the user interface shared group, which has the user interface navigation bars, but also a bunch of other things, and I'm gonna make a special video about this and everything that's contained within it. So for now, all we need to understand that when we want controls to be affected by App Starter Stack code, we must place them into this card content group. So let's do that. So let's start editing our card content group using this button here. And let's just add a couple of controls. It could be any kind of live code control. Let's just, yeah, why not? Why not a clock? So what we'll do is we'll stop editing using the button. And then if you resize the stack, nothing happens. So now we will learn how to make things be affected by the code. So when you go to the custom properties of a control, the first thing you need to do is you need to set an I am custom property. And in this case, there are other things you will be putting in here, but in this case, it's a control that is that doesn't have any special functions or features, so it's just a plain control. So let's just use the word control. And then let's use my size. Okay. Let's go 100 pixels width and 200 pixels height. And then let's create another one called align me. Okay, and let's go with center for the horizontal alignment and top for vertical. And let's see what happens when you try to resize. Nothing. What we need to do is we need to actually just hit the refresh button here, but that is sometimes a little slower, so I'm just gonna go to another card and then come back to the blank card. And now you can see that this control has been affected based on our specifications that we gave it. So it's centered horizontally, it's snapped to the top. By the way, the default behavior for these controls that are inside the card content is that it snaps to the card content group, not to the whole stack. So for example, if I was to say left, left here, it wouldn't snap to the left of the navigation bar, it just snaps to the left of the card content group. So this is basically the beginnings of how you can create interfaces, simple ones or really elaborate ones, dashboards and all kinds of stuff. So let's go and play with some of these settings. Obviously, if you just put center and center, it's gonna just go in the center. Oh, sorry. Center. And yeah, there we go. So the other thing that you can do with alignment is you can say uh, top, left of me, comma, the left of the owner of me. So these expressions let you have pixel perfect control about in how these controls align themselves. So let's just go uh, bottom of me to the bottom of the owner of me. So what do you think is going to happen when I try to resize it now? The left of this will be snapped to the left of its owner, which is the card content group, and then the bottom will be snapped to the bottom. Let's see. Boom. Left, bottom. And you can actually use reference other controls in this. So let's go uh, and snap this. Sorry, let's snap the button to the bottom of the button to the bottom of widget clock. And you might want to say of the owner of me just to make sure that the reference is full and correct. So it will snap the bottom of this to the bottom, or let's just say the top of the button to the bottom of the clock. Right? And then, so it did that correctly, and then let's go, let's just copy that and paste it and change it to the left. So it'll just align itself to the left of the clock. So there you go. So this is the simple mechanism which you can use for alignments. And then obviously each of these require the same parameters. And let's move on to resizing stuff, okay? And I'll show you some more options that are available there. Let me just take a sip of water here. All right, so here we specified the pixel value of the width, which is the first line, and the height, which is the second line. But also what we can do is you can say 0.75 comma percentage. So this will make the width of this button 75% of the width of its owner, which is the card content group. So let's see what happens. Boom. And now this is 75% of the width of the content group. So what you might see sometimes is some strange snapping that happens when you're doing these alignments. And that has to do with the order in which these controls are handled. So let's have a look at that, okay? Just so that you're clear. Let's go to the position palette tab, and when we click on these, we can see the layer. So that the button is layer 6, this is layer 7, this is layer 8. So this button gets resized and aligned first, and then it's this one, and then it's this one. So they go based on the order of the layer. So if you are snapping one object to another object, make sure that the object you're snapping to is in a layer before the object that you're snapping, because otherwise the object that you're snapping to will move because it comes after uh, this. So I hope I explained that enough. But so the sequence of layers of your controls is very important because it can control how things align to other controls if that's what you're using. If you're just using left, right, and center, or top, bottom, and center, then you don't have to worry about that. But you're not just going to use those. So that's that. That's how resizing is done. There's the two different ways. You can do a percentage, uh, or you can do a pixel value. So let's now move on to let's see. Is there anything I can show based on this alignment? Oh yes. Let's go to a card that has a data grid on it, and let's go to this data grid. So let's go look at the project browser, and you will see that the data grid, sorry, it's over here. You will see that the data grid is actually not inside the card content group, because in order for the data grid to take advantage of the accelerated rendering, it has to be the first top layer of the card. So if you look at the custom properties of this data grid, it also has an align me, and it also has a my size attribute. So these also work for data grids which are outside of the card content group, but they do still snap to the card content group because this is just a workaround, and technically this grid should be inside there. So you don't want it snapping to areas outside of the card content group. So I hope that is a sufficient explanation of how to do basic resizing and aligning. See you in the next video.